shortly, but let's take a look at the front pages of our newspapers. Daily Graphic. Finance Minister calls diasporan community help create industrial hub. Economy on right path to recovery. Government complacency. COVID-19 protocol generally disregarded. FBN Bank marks 25th milestone with Trade Forum. Ghanaian Times. Ghana rolls out COVID-19 vaccine trial. Conduct Sputnik-like test on 1,000 people in Shao Sudoku, Kasina Nankana, others. Don't frustrate investors upon Nkrumah to agency heads. Ghana Statistical Service deploys 70,000 enumerators, supervisors nationwide to begin census on Sunday. 2 friends jailed 50 years for robbery. Daily Guide. NDC MPs walk out on deputies. Ambassador Blay inspects new chocolate factory. No protocol in military. Scholarships boss woo Spanish educationists. 35 foreign fraudsters arrested. New weekend crusading guide. Summertide Blues. Achime Buakwa declare war on sand winning company. Finger police service for protecting illegality. Upon Nkrumah urges agency heads, don't frustrate investors. KGL Group sponsors GIPC's Maiden Diaspora Investment Summit. New job into Berima Chiribuatin, July 3. COVID-19, St. Andrews SHS others receive HES awards. The Insight. $170 million judgment debt. NDC and NPP trade blows as blame game intensifies. Disregard false claims on Top Kings Trasaco lands. Empire builders to public. Dr. Philip Asibit facing torture in prison. Adam GH alleges as it petitions Interior Minister and prison's boss. KGL Group sponsors maiden edition of GIPC Diaspora Investment Summit. The Informer. Bawumia stresses importance of land acquisition. Promises to deal with obstacles to acquiring land. Report domestic violence, DOFSU. President Kufuor urges Africa to tackle COVID-19 boldly and pursue new pathways to recover from challenges of the scourge. Ghana Health Service on preventing rampaging COVID-19 pandemic. Much depends on individuals, says your destiny is in your own hands. Forestry Association cries, appeals to government to save the forestry industry. The Inquisitor. NPP chases Ken over GRA in Konkonsa. Ashaman Assembly members fight TDC over public lands. Protozo has not authorized anyone to demand money from potential MMDCs. KGL Group sponsors maiden edition of GIPC Diaspora Investment Summit. ADB holds customer appreciation cocktail. The Herald. $170 million judgment debt brings back GMPC drill ship saga. Sputnik V transaction is illegal, Harun Edrisu. Boache Jaku calls critics stupid and ignorant over $170 million judgment debt, but remains tight-lipped on his American deal dismissal. KGL Group sponsors GIPC Diaspora Investment Summit. The Daily Statesman. Government targets more diaspora investment. Chief of Staff says it's critical for development. Goal integrates e-payment into GH-Link. Ghana tackles maritime dispute with Togo. Asiedu Bekwin, I've not asked the MMDC nominees to pay money. The Daily Searchlight. Committee on Lands complete work. KGL Group sponsors made in edition of GIPC Diaspora Investment Summit. Vivo Energy and its transporters embark on National Road Safety Campaign. Don't frustrate investors upon Nkrumah to agency heads. The Custodian. Don't interfere in legal battles. Bank of Ghana tells Parliament. Bargaining task Parliamentary Friendship Committee. Mensa Kosa and 3 others approved. Protozo alerts potential MMDCs over fraudsters. KGL Group sponsors GIPC Diaspora Investment Summit. Work to attract investors upon Nkrumah to agency heads. The Ghanaian Publisher. No protocol recruits in the army. Defense Minister declares. MMDCs advised not to offer bribe to secure jobs. KGL sponsors maiden GIPC Diaspora Investment Summit. Don't frustrate investors upon Nkrumah tells agency heads. Will probe $170 million judgment debt. Dame. The Accra Times. Speaker Bagbin hits the road to rebrand the image of Parliament. General Mosquito stings CJ. Stop chasing NDC lawyers around. They are not criminals. La MP. General Polo Cons in Parliament over La Lands. Not the MP quizzes Health Minister of Ambulances. Kofi Adams wants Ghanaian youth to emulate Rawlings's legacy as Parliament observes his 74th birthday. Daily Post. 170 million US dollars judgment debt. Who will you investigate? NPP man takes on AG. Mahama, better economic manager than the Kufuor Bawumia government. Adongo. This Ethiopia Parado's removal, an official endorsement of lawlessness. The report. Punch. Democracy at its best. Cape Coast NDC MP, MC Unite. CBOD officials meet Dangote Group. Potting Islamic Nursing Training College in limbo. Honorable Afenyo Markin displays ongoing roads in the Futu constituency. So to MP marks Father's Day at Nazareth Pentecost. Speaker unveils Parliamentary Friendship Committee Association. UN adopts Democratic Religious Day. Business and Financial Times. World Bank justifies $200 million US support for new development bank. Says government assured it will not be business as usual. Got to pay dividends despite difficult year. Payment of cocoa farmers to go digital. Cocoa board. Banks can't continue to ignore blockchain. Digital finance expert. Kenoforiata backs 15% global corporate tax to fight multinationals devaluating tax and IFFs. Absa Bank taps into $3.6 billion remittance market. The bill of lading and its functions. That's also in today's edition of the BNFT. The good old Catholic Standard. Secondly, Takrady gets new bishop. Father Takru appointed. Adoption of ADR. Hope to litigants. Chief Justice. South Korea supports Caritas Ghana. Laudato Si campaign for a cleaner environment launched in Zimbabwe. Deploy technology to support church's mission. And that's about it. For the front pages, we'll be back shortly.
When peace like a
In Ghana and in Africa, there is only one place to look to get that luxurious design and decor for your offices and homes. Visit Jamila Home. We give you the climax of luxury wherever you find yourself. Presidential and executive office furniture, living room sets, dining set, stunning mirrors, adorable wallpapers, lovely king and queen size beds, valuable antiques and antique goods, beautiful chandeliers and more. Into the bargain, we provide caring customer service, prompt delivery service, skilled and artistic full house design and decor services, and free decor ideas for your space. Our products and service is unparalleled, boasting of top-tier clients all over the globe. Jamila Home, home of first-class quality furniture, beautiful chandeliers, and antiques.
Did you know that cloth handkerchief gets dirty and wet after wiping your sweat or blowing your nose with it? Keeping a dirty handkerchief in your pocket or bag is very unhygienic. Reusing it increases your chances of getting sick from germs. That is why I always use floral disposable handkerchiefs. Floral disposable handkerchiefs. That's disposable, thus making it a more hygienic option. It's thick and very absorbent. With 10 tissues in a pack, floral disposable handkerchief is better than a cloth handkerchief. in Florida toilet roll, there are multi-purpose paper towels, Florida table and Florida tissues in the near you. For purchases, phone data people on 0243 033 033.
The average human body mass should have at least 60% water for optimal performance in any physical or mental exercise. We can help you maintain it naturally. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. The show is brought to you in kind partnership with X Natural Mineral Water. And with me on the show this morning, the former Minister of Information, Nana Akomia, and also the former Deputy Minister of Information, who's now ranking member of Foreign Affairs, and also member of Parliament for the Northern constituency, Samuel Okujato Ablakwa. Gentlemen, good morning, welcome. Good morning. Appears to be quite a solemn weekend. Again, for those who have been watching the show, Kwesi Sentiba Football, popularly known as Babo, is going to lay to rest this weekend. The general manager of Radio Gold from day one till he passed on. And of course, trained a lot of media practitioners and given a lot of opportunities to many others. I mean, some of the biggest names in the industry can trace their roots to Radio Gold, and of course the opportunities that people like Babo gave them. And this weekend we'll be paying our last respects to him. There's a vigil today, and then the service tomorrow at the Agape Church, East Legon, then his residence, number 1 Passion Street in East Legon. And his body will be taken to Sefi, where he is a royal and a chief to be buried. At the funeral is right here in Accra. I'm sure both of you encountered him. Nana?
Yes, Radio Gold.
Yes.
He was in Radio Gold. Was known as the Rabbit NDC political party station. But Bago, who I don't know if he was the owner or the general manager. I think he was the general manager.
Yeah, I was like a CEO.
But he who was the face of the station. Surprisingly, even though the station was known as a Rabbit NDC station, he himself didn't project that impression. And he tried to cut across, reach out to everybody across party. It was the reason why those days I was working at Information Ministry. They tried to get me at Radio Gold. I wasn't keen on going, but it was Bagbo who, by his posture, was able to make me go to Radio Gold. And I think I took part in quite a few programs with John Hammer, and also they had this flagship Saturday thing.
Yeah.
Alaji and Alaji.
Yes.
I would do that. And he would always call me after the show, express appreciation, all of that. Nice guy. You couldn't pigeonhole him as NDC. And so that's a testimony to his appeal. I saw him briefly somewhere in Accra. Must be Osu. He had this nice Mercedes, and I commented on his nice Mercedes just around 2017, and we talked a little bit. We agreed to keep in touch. And then a couple of the next thing I heard, he had passed. Very shocking, very, very shocking. And I think it was 70 or something. Yes. Not too old. So, but what can you say? That is life. Condolences to his family. If I'm able to squeeze some time, I would accompany you and go and express condolences to his family. Just a nice chat.
Yeah, Randy, really sad development. Babu was a very pleasant personality. Fine gentleman, always in his characteristic hat. He was quite flamboyant. I liked his fashion sense, very colorful.
Folding his sleeves, even if they're short sleeves.
Yes, no matter the length of the sleeves, you fold it, and I liked his unique kaftans and very, very affable personality, and his contribution to the media landscape in our country is forever etched in gold, just as he was the first manager and the pioneer who really used Radio Gold to unearth a lot of talent. Your good self, which by all accounts has been a great discovery for the media landscape in our country. I can mention the likes of Kwame Sifakain, the likes of Fifi Bansen, James Ajenim Boatin, Bibi Manson discovered Alaji Sweeney, who I must commend for paying glowing tribute to him in Parliament 2 days ago. The Right Honourable Speaker admitted his statement. So Parliament paid tribute to the memory of Babu. You do know that he also made a foray into national politics, becoming a senior presidential staffer to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. So it is also in order, as we extend condolences to the media fraternity, to also extend heartfelt sympathies to former President Mahama, Mama Lodina. I know that he was very close to the family, one of their very closest advisors. And we all will join mourners this weekend, beginning from the vigil tonight, to pay our last respect. He has contributed immensely to the forward march of free expression, to media freedoms in our country. And, it is a high praise.
And for many of us, the remarkable thing about Babu is that the relationship never ended when you left Radio Gold.
Yes.
A lot of us left. I mean, I've been out of Radio Gold for about 20 years, but he still kept in touch until the very last day. I mean, he was very interested in your family life, your exploits in academia and career and all those things. I mean, he was always sending messages to me on this program, and sometimes insisting that I should read. It was one of first persons who insisted that I should put the title doctor, you know, when I was refusing to do that and all that, you know, and he has this way, you know, he has this way of motivating people. You know, I always tease him that he will motivate you financially. But of course, the kind of motivation that he gave you was more than money.
Absolutely.
It will spare you to do things, exploits that will bring you money and a lot more. So
he had a passion for young people.
Oh yes,
yes.
I think he just
all of us.
He just took, he just had a knack, one, for identifying, and then two, he felt happy. I think he was fulfilled by the number of people he could develop.
Yes.
Because in my case, you know, I got into this thing by accident. You know, I went to see Fifi Bansin and we're chatting. And Fifi was supposed to introduce me to somebody. You know, whilst we were chatting, at the Radio God had rented a place for them at Alatobio Koshi. It was a Monday, and he had to do a show at 3 p.m. And so it was time for his show. So he asked that we walk to the place. It was supposed to be a 1-hour show, so that after we'll continue with our discussion. So when the I sat at the reception, then he went in to do a show. But I think his producer then informed him, Tony Usuamofa, that his guest for the show had not arrived. This was 96, thereabouts, 96, when gold had started like a year after. So he came back to the reception to me and said, but you said the time we did the house there, you're plenty. You know, we're arguing, you know, about football and all that. Oh, you go like, come on there. I said, where are you discussing? And he told me. So I said, give me an A4 paper. And so I took it, scribbled some things, and then went to the studio. So that was it. I never intended to pursue this as a profession, you know. And so one day, by the time we finished the show, here was Babu, and then Bingo. He was the business development manager. You remember that advert, that Wapa? So here they were, both of them. Young man, who are you? What do you do? Can you come a lot more often? No, I want to hear you a lot more often. And that's it.
Interesting.
That's how it started.
Interesting.
That's just how it started.
I mean, he's just got a knack for making discoveries. I mean, a young Robert Niade Clark is what I remember. And Robert took the morning show by storm in the capital. I recall what James Ajanim Boateng also achieved when Robert left. And
James came in as a national service person.
Yes.
You know, then GIJ, they had this thing, you do like TV 1 month, then you do newspaper, and then you do like radio for the 3 months. Attachment as part of their thing. That's the first time I met James when he came to do his attachment.
Interesting. And the thing about Babu is that he was not just your typical removed manager. He even took part in production. He was so talented.
Oh, yes.
I recall the Kokonsa series. He will draft the scripts himself, you know, and he loved research. I mean, the extent he would go to make sure he gets his facts right and to get the right people. I mean, look at how he gave my former boss, Professor Nana Jinopokwajima, motivated her enough to leave the UCC Weekly as a lecturer, senior lecturer at the time, to come do a show. And
she was the first person to interview Rollins on radio.
Yes, in 1996.
I remember that interview.
Yeah. You know, so he did use that platform.
Vonando, Shelley Frimpong,
really advanced good courses.
KOD.
A lot of greats. A lot of greats. And he was always, you know, reserved and self-effacing. He didn't like to caught the limelight himself. Amazing.
So you went there as a panelist?
No, I'm saying that my first time on radio, I went to chat with Fifi Bansin on something else.
I know, but I'm saying that your first introduction to media was as a panelist at Radio Gold.
Yes.
And then you became a staff.
Yes.
After the paneling, you became a staff.
Yes, after the first day.
After the first day, they employed you.
They decided to
do what?
Give me the opportunity, sports.
Oh, to do sports?
To be an analyst, yes.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. So it was whilst we were doing that, you see, whilst we were doing that, there's a place we call the common room. So it's like a room, cozy room with sofas, and you had a DSTV there. So when we're off, anytime we're off, that's where we sit to chat and argue. And Babu will come around, So there was this day, Mr. Ernest Thompson has started a show. When Radio Gold went, they had this thing, All Talk on like a Wednesday. Yeah. Then like No Talk on a Thursday. That was something that he brought. So Wednesday will be just talk. And then Thursday is just music, no talk. Yeah.
So
Ernest had a program. Ernest Thompson had a program. And they're going to discuss the Ketasi Defense Project. And so he was having, I think, Professor Mausi Dake, the Honorable Kwame Nabatels, and then one other person.
Interesting.
So I think they were looking for a neutral. So I was working there, and Babu called me. It was around 4 p.m. And he said, you have been arguing in the common room and all that. I want you on this show. This is the topic. I said, what? At that time, no Google, nothing and all that. So I had to go to the newsroom and the stack of newspapers to go through them, searching for stories about the Ketasi Defense Project, to take my notes and make my notes and everything. So I left around midnight to Abeka. I lived then at my grandmom's place. Then came back early morning to Ernest Thompson's show. And obviously, at that time, Ernest Thompson didn't know me. So I sat there and was like, no credentials. So for like the first 25 minutes, he never asked me a question.
You were a panelist?
Yes.
On the Ketasi?
Yeah. I was brought as a neutral. So for like the first 25 minutes, he never even asked me a question. Because I mean, who's this guy who they brought here? So the old people were talking. Then he said, we also have...
this one.
So...
Say something.
I was just waiting for my 1 minute opportunity. Yeah. And then I sparked. Yeah. So now all of them, who's this boy? Who's this boy? Yeah. And that was where the current affairs part started. Yeah.
So, I mean, you came into media by accident.
By accident. Literally. By accident, completely. Never dreamt of it.
That's the way sometimes.
Yeah, never dreamt of it. Never ever thought about it.
Because you see, there have been people who actually have trained for media and never made it. Yeah. And you didn't train. You went into it by accident, and you are still in it doing very well. Sometimes that's the way life goes. Yeah. But what were you doing before you went there?
Then after national service, I was trying to get into Sefaka and I to get into Jaji. And those days, I wanted to do PR, And those days, there was this entrance exam you had to go and do at the Presby school around Osu. You go there, you have hundreds of people.
That must be Ebenezer Presby.
Hundreds of people. Then you go and write
for GIG.
And then you go and write, and then there was limited opportunity. So that's what actually led me to go see, Fifi. Because my dad and Fifi's dad were both at the same church. They were friends. So Fifi was supposed to introduce me to Malco Afajino, who was then lecturing at GIG. And used to come on Radio Go. They had a program. They had a program on Saturday afternoons. Not Alaji. There was a different program with Captain Sowu and others.
In other words, you were looking for a protocol opportunity.
Yes. Because I had not been able to enter through the main door. And we're told that if without protocol, you couldn't enter.
I like your honesty.
Oh, yeah. You know what? But guess what? Guess what? Years on now, this is me. Yeah. Sitting at Metro as director of News, Current Affairs and Sports. And GIG were bringing their students to come do the attachment for me to certify them.
All those who had gone through the high flying.
That's when I realized that there was a big problem with the educational system in Ghana.
Why?
No, but these things happen in life.
Why?
For want of space, we're denying opportunity to many brilliant people. Because we're having all those things because we lack the space. So although 500 people wanted to do it and they were qualified, we still have to bring a different layer to try and sieve. Like the law school situation. Or like even entry into the public universities. Previously, people went at Legon with 2 years. But as the space became a problem, they had to then,
That's true. And at the time, there was only one journalism school.
Yeah.
Now you have
a
lot more.
So,
you know. But
at least you've got to hear chapter 1 of my book on media practice.
This is great. It's great. You should do as Robert Niade Clark has done. I've read his fascinating book, and I think you should also.
Robert has a lot of energy.
Nana Komia made a point about Babo's ability to reach out to the other side across the aisle, despite the fact that the owners of Radio Gold, Uncle Atu Ahoy, my own godfather and great mentor, owned the station. You recall the opportunity he gave to Kwabena Japan, Randy. You recall the opportunity Babo gave to Kwabena Japan.
Yes.
Do sports. And he also started Alaji and Alaji with Alaji Bature, ABA Fuseni. It was novel at the time to have a talk show with that format, uninterrupted, and you come and you make a presentation. And it has outlived him. And that's what it means by having a legacy. Your legacy, many, many years after you are gone, people should talk about it, people should see it in motion, should celebrate you. So he's paid his dues.
And so
Radio Good was the second English station after Joy FM.
Yes.
So that's why a lot of the many of the pioneers went through. So Radio Good and Joy FM.
Joy, Gold, and then Sunshine, later Choice came in, and then Vibe, and then later Groove, but the Grandpa GBC had always been around.
But these stations, Choice, is this still there?
No.
Choice is gone. Used to be Sunshine.
Yes.
I remember. And then Choice. It became Choice.
Yes.
It's gone.
Yes.
Vibe is gone.
Yes.
So that shows you how durable some of this.
Groove
Radio
is
Good,
gone.
of course, they had it. Groove is gone.
Oh, gone. Groove is the Adom FM.
Oh.
And then Vibe is original FM.
Oh, the one that you have here.
Yes. And then
I had no idea.
Choice FM. Choice
It's
FM.
also been sold.
Yes, I think Choice FM is also in the EIB, the EIB group.
So what it means that even if you hadn't had this chance, opportunity, you still have been in media because you're going to go to GIJ.
No, but the past, I would have gone into corporate. Because I was looking at doing PR. So I would have gone into corporate.
Probably a football coach?
No, and I probably would have been in corporate somewhere. I would have been somewhere and they would be treating me as a, you know how they treat the PRs?
Glorified.
No, like I'll be carrying people back then. Going to book flights, protocol officers. That's how the public service treats the PR people. It's changed now.
Okay. Professionals.
But when you went in, it was like that. That was very sad. We never appreciated PR as a management and even a policy function in this country for a long time. And extension communications. For example, at Hearts of Oak, I was in the management, but Uncle Atu insisted that I sat in all board meetings because he thought that to communicate effectively for the club, you needed to appreciate what went into the decision. Not that you're told that these were the decisions, but at least if you have the opportunity of hearing all the arguments for and against an issue, eventually when the decision is taken, when you're communicating, you're able to communicate about it better.
Those days, media wasn't the central. You had GBC, and
it was so controlled.
And boring. So, but now media is central. So I can't imagine a serious management not having the PR person at meetings because everything now is reflected through media. So it's changed.
And another person who has a knack for sporting talents is Fred Owari. Unbelievable. Yes, Fred Owari. Unbelievable. But
he's now at Bui power.
You know, yes.
But you know, Randy, I can't resist the temptation to once again bring up the rather unfortunate closure of Radio Code. And it's not too late for the government to redeem their image, especially for a president who wants to be hailed as a defender of free expression and fundamental human rights. The circumstances under which Radio Go's license was withdrawn. And it was exposed at the Appointments Committee. You saw how the Communications Minister fumbled. There has been some pledges. Let's hope that they redeem those pledges to restore the Radio Go's license. But never again should we set out to hound, dissenting voices the way it was done. It's really shameful. And on a day like this, as we celebrate Babu, we must condemn that single action. There is no way that we will come to power and say Oman FM, Net2 TV should just be closed down because we don't want to see them operate.
I don't know if
there's absolutely no basis for what
I don't know if you have the facts correct.
I do.
You were saying Radio Gold was hounded?
Yes, the selectivity. At the time, Radio Gold was...
My understanding.
The Media Foundation for West Africa.
Yeah.
The Electronic Communication Tribunal. All of them have confirmed that there was a selective, discriminatory approach
against Radio Gold.
Against Radio Gold, yeah.
But do you know there were a lot of radio stations that were closed?
Yeah,
you are aware.
I know that, of course.
So why would you say that it was selective against Radio Gold when there were dozens of other radio stations?
When the government wants to go after you, they would, of course, add a few more.
But you don't have any proof.
No, we have the proof.
No.
We proved it. The people of Ghana saw it.
If 30 radio stations were closed, including Radio Gold, why do you think that because Radio Gold was included, then it's selectivity? When 20 now, 30 other radio stations have been closed.
I guess.
So if you want the facts,
some of those who say that.
And then once again, then you also went to tribunal over the matter, wasn't it?
Yes.
And what was the ruling?
That the NCA's initial action was wrong. It was high-handed.
Oh, the rule they found.
Yes, and that they shouldn't pay. Radio Go should not pay those.
Oh, then why haven't you gone to court to enforce it?
They went to court, but remember at the point the Communications Committee of Parliament, chaired by the Honourable Kennedy Ejefon,
because the
asked Radio Go to withdraw the case and come to Parliament for the Communication Committee
I think that at this point,
it's a real shame.
Amnesty also.
Yeah, we need to just forget about it because you see, for me, yes, there were many other radio stations involved, but you see, the quest for Media Foundation for West Africa and others to ask for information from the NCA was born out of the belief that there were some stations that were in the same situation as Radio Gold, but they were not affected. Yes, it is true that it wasn't only Radio Gold and Munti that were affected, but there's a view out there, and that's why they were looking for the information, that there were some stations who were also in the same kind of situation.
They hadn't paid regularized.
But they were treated differently.
In Parliament, at the Appointments Committee, we adduced evidence from the NCA's own website.
No. Look, Randy, when they've asked for the information, they've asked for the list so they can check. And they'll be given the list. They were asked to come and pay 2,000 cedis. And they said they didn't see why they should pay. And they went to court. And that delayed the process. Now the court has ruled they should go and pay. That it was within the NCA rights to demand payment because that processing of the information will cost money. So let them go and pay the 1,500 cedis. Let them be provided with the list. Let them come out to demonstrate that there was discrimination. Then all of us can come to the conclusion. But at the moment, coming to that conclusion, Samuel Kujato, it's not fair.
No. As a former minister,
if you are saying
how you cherish media freedoms, you should.
But I also cherish media responsibility.
You should condemn what happened.
So,
all right. So
I also cherish media responsibility.
The former national chairman of the NPP, Mr. Paul Afoko, He says, you guys have said it all about Babu. He encouraged me after my first appearance on Alaji and Alaji. His criticism was so positive. He would, in his quiet manner, catch my eye and beckon me to step out of the studio. He would drop pearls of wisdom into my ears and leave. He was the epitome of what political party relationships should be. Cordial, respectful, tolerant, criticizing positively. He was truly a gentleman, and I considered him a friend. So this is from Mr. Paul Afoko, the former national chairman of MPP. Now, before I take a break, commiserations to Roland Agambire of RLG. He's also lost his mom. She'll be laid to rest this weekend at Sirigu in the Upper East region. So, Roland Agambire and your family accept our commiserations in these difficult times. And he's joined us, the club of orphans. We are called secondary orphans.
What does that mean?
I mean, those whose parents died later. I mean, those who lost them later. Is this saying orphan is not a good expression? You know, it's different from those who lost them very, very early on. You get it? Yeah. We'll be back shortly.
Football and Nuntin a high sense as sponsor Euro 2020. Edia Mauno. Nessa Suntin Ayatiti TV say who? Edia Mauno. A high sense Euro 2020 TV super promo. Kwajo brand new high sense TV and board for pictures near clear na color near deep sound quality this dia one it here high sense TV so dia entry power about down one access you are akona utu sa befu 18th June akopim 11th July a high sense Euro 2020 TV super promo e ma refi say high sense kwa na ma 5 years warranty a high sense Euro 2020 TV super promo Kosuwa high sense showrooms what Ghana for nyina. What you dear Nansenya? High sense everyday prices for everyday people. High sense official sponsor at the Euro 2020.
33-watt safe fast charge system with 2-for-1 certification. 90Hz superfluid display. 6.95-inch Full HD+. MediaTek Helio G95 processor. Unbeatable gaming experience. Infinix Note 10 Pro. Faster and smoother.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. Still with me on the show, I have Nana Komia and Samuel Kujato Ablakwa. The show is brought to you in kind partnership with X Natural Mineral Water. Samuel, were you part of the minority that walked out of Parliament? I've seen a story which suggests that a minority, not suggests, but which says that a minority claims that they were dribbled and that the Green Ghana Day, is it Green Ghana or Greening Ghana?
Green Ghana.
Okay.
Green Ghana Day.
The Green Ghana Day, they were all, encouraged to go to their respective constituencies to go and help in promoting that. And then on your blind side, the appointments committee went ahead with the vetting of some 4 deputy ministers. And for that reason, you decided not to take part in the approval in Parliament.
Yeah, the reports are accurate, and the media has captured essentially what transpired. On that day, I was in Ho as a special guest to the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. They launched their week-long celebration. Last year they couldn't celebrate it because of COVID, so they resumed the celebrations together with an award ceremony. Let me quickly chip in that, Randy, we must all do some advocacy for our nurses. It should be hard on our conscience that so many of them have still not been vaccinated. Some have received only the first shot as frontline healthcare workers and have no idea when they will get the second shot. It's totally unconscionable, and they should be a priority. They are the heroes and heroines of this pandemic response, and it's important that we pay attention to their plight. If you look at page 273 of the 2021 budget as well, the allocation Parliament approved for them, 80 million cedis. So far, government has managed to release only 38 million cedis. Some 41 million cedis remains outstanding. And so there are a whole host of frontline healthcare workers who have still not received their allowances, the 50% that was promised them by the president. So I have assured them that we'll continue to advocate on their behalf so that the frontline healthcare workers will receive their due. But back to Parliament.
But 1 second, you mean they haven't been vaccinated?
Yeah, I was shocked.
I thought the first dose, health workers were prioritized.
But in fact,
so many of them
the MTN one that came was specifically for health professionals.
But it turns out that so many of them.
How come? They were the ones administering the vaccines.
Yeah, but so
Which hospital is this?
No, this is a Volta and OT regional branch of the Ghana Registered Nurses Association.
That's strange because the initial 350,000 were told that health workers, people over 60, was it 60 or 70? 60, and people with underlying conditions.
Maybe they thought that they couldn't go around everybody, so they prioritized the health professionals on the basis of the recorded cases in particular areas. So it is possible that there might be health workers in some parts.
And after the 350,000, there's been another 600 or so, and they still have not been vaccinated. And they are nurses.
I mean, the president of the National Association was there, and she drew attention to that.
That's strange.
So government should pay attention to that. Back to Parliament, Randy. The briefing from my colleagues, you know that I left the Appointments Committee many weeks ago. A decision which I remain exceedingly proud of, which I have no regrets for at all. Increasingly, the work of the Appointments Committee...
1 second. What do you mean you are proud of the decision?
I have no regrets for the decision.
Yes, why?
He stands by his decision.
Because it's based on conviction and principle.
Because you see, the impression you are giving was that there was some major wrongdoing at the committee, which you resigned in protest.
My resignation is in protest, certainly. If all was well, why would I be resigning? So I didn't resign because all was well at the committee.
Or not on a time or so, but just because there was major wrongdoing on the committee.
Absolutely. I had very strong reservations.
But it's your duty to point out what was wrong on the Appointments Committee of Parliament so it can be redressed, instead of taking a private decision.
Those who must know. I've had discussions with the Speaker. And,
this is a public issue.
and I have said that at the right time. At the right time, we will.
It's a very serious matter.
We will discuss them.
Look,
Nana is just trying to use a backdoor to get me to disclose the reasons for my
even if you
for
don't,
my resignation.
Nana, do you miss talking points?
No, clearly he does.
Do you miss hosting talking points?
Randy.
Clearly.
I'm not doing the hosting here.
Can you?
We are having a discussion.
Can you exchange seats with him?
Listen.
Do you miss hosting talking points?
Let him host.
Randy, let me tell you something. The Appointments Committee of Parliament of Ghana is a very, very important committee.
Undoubtedly.
That is the committee through which very high public officials are refracted, including Supreme Court judges, including the Chief Justice. Now, if there's such major wrongdoing at that committee, to the extent that a member would resign, not because of scheduling or any other problem, but because of wrongdoing, it is important that these things are pointed out so that we can, sunshine.
Yeah, but,
it's important.
But you said that he should have stayed there.
Yeah, now he's telling us he couldn't.
No, he said
and he's proud that he took a principled stand to resign.
You're saying that he should have stayed there.
Yes.
And pointed out the issues to his committee.
Yes.
For them to resolve them.
Yeah.
Now, you're the same person asking him to make those disclosures public.
If he did
How will that solve them?
No.
He says those who know.
Which people know?
Okay, so ask him who are those people, and then you move on. At least we know he's held a meeting with Speaker Bagbin.
We are discussing the walkout on the list of 4 deputy ministers.
Right. It's your public duty to ensure that this
and I think that
let's bring closure to this matter.
We ought to stay
focused. And who did you discuss this issue with?
Which people
There's
know?
the leadership of Parliament. Yeah. There's the leadership of your side.
The Speaker, the Right Honourable Speaker, knows very much
the wrongdoing.
Why I resigned.
Okay.
I've accorded the Right Honourable Speaker that respect. Okay. My leadership in Parliament, particularly the Honourable Haruna Idrisu, I've held discussions with him. He is in the picture.
Okay.
The flag bearer of my party, the running mate, and the national executives of my party know. So, on a whom you know basis, I think I have satisfied that.
All right, let's move on.
And we ought to move on. I have said that at the right time. I understand the huge public interest, and I think that as a public servant, you owe a duty. But when you have also been prevailed upon to
sweep the wrongdoing under the carpet,
of timing and all of that, as a member of a team, you want to be a good team player. And so I would ask Nana Kumia to be a little bit patient with the Son of Man. At the right time,
Son of Man.
What do you want to know?
This is not, listen, this is not.
I think that what is important is that those who can take action to cause some reforms, and
you see,
and we may see some reforms moving forward.
Son of Man, you see, this is not characteristic of you. That's my worry. This is not characteristic of the Son of Man.
No, but you're pushing me. Why do you want to do that?
Why am I pushing you? You have said, well, am I injuring you? I'm rather helping your reputation. I'm trying to uphold your reputation. This is not characteristic of you. Whether you like it or not, you are building a reputation for yourself as somebody who will not condone wrongdoing. Whether we like it or not, we must credit you with the initial matter of the presidential jets and other things that I can't remember immediately. So you have a certain characteristic that people admire. Now, if you're occupying a membership of no less a committee than the Appointments Committee, and there's so much wrongdoing on the committee that you actually resign. And you say you've been prevailed upon to sweep it under the carpet.
Those are not my words, Nana. Don't.
You said you've been prevailed upon to
About timing. The timing is key in these
When
matters.
is the timing right to expose danger in our public system?
So you've never listened to counsel from elders? Is that what you are?
Not if they counsel me to conceal wrongdoing.
No. I don't think that is the nature of the counseling. I think that we should.
He says you may see reform soon.
We should.
So
how would, because we don't know what happens. So how will we see the reform? How would we know the reform when
It
they come?
supposes that he had issues with maybe structure and system. And so he needs
Yes,
reformation.
no. Listen, I have been on the appointments committee before.
Yes.
And I valued my membership of that committee. And it's one of the most sought after committees of Parliament. He knows.
That's true.
So for you to resign and then tell the rest of us that is of no concern to us, while you are not living up to your reputation, you are telling us that you choose what you expose and what you don't expose. That's the aim. And you see, you made the point that you are proud of that decision.
Absolutely.
That means it's something that is really deep, goes to the core of your principles. And you say you've been prevailed upon to sweep it under the carpet.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, I haven't
Yeah,
said that.
he said he's been talked to keep calm, the timing.
I haven't.
Yes.
When is it wrong to expose wrongdoing? Well,
We'll find out soon.
Gamanche, let's go back
Go
to
on,
the
go on.
topic. The main topic is the walkout by the minority.
But that one they want to talk about it.
Because that's what the host has asked us to talk about.
he also
I don't
asked
know
him
if you are now hosting. If I'm to really responding to your questions. I mean, we know.
Please change the tag. The Nana Kumia is now the host. I'm a panelist.
No, we are having a discussion. That's the
In fact,
impression I
a
have.
conversation.
Yes.
No, it's becoming more of a monologue. Where you are creating your own topic and seeking to be the host.
You know what? I was just looking at Nana. You know what? I was just fascinated about the excitement with which he was, going about the thing.
No, Randy, I'm surprised.
So excited.
No, I'm
so
surprised Randy is not excited.
Yeah.
This matter of Samuel Kujeto reason, there should have been not the public inquiry, but he has a duty to expose the wrongdoing.
Okay, you made up.
And you see,
you made up about
the
7 times already.
The appointments committee is not a partisan committee. It's not an NDC committee.
Okay.
It's a committee of Parliament with both parties.
Yes.
And you know it's come under some cloud
Yes.
over the time. So for you to resign, you see, your resignation and the dramatic manner in which you made it,
Really?
and for you to tell us this morning that it's a very proud decision you took on major principle, that means what happened there is so fundamental that the public interest deserves to know.
I cannot stop.
Now you are telling us,
Nana Komia
you are telling us that you've been counseled, you've been talked, you've been taught to become timing. Now Kujeto says it's timing wrong.
Kojo says I should tell you that mischief break is over.
Yeah. Let's move.
Kojo Chumbuafo sees an attempt to expose wrongdoing as mischief.
No, he says I should tell you.
Okay, no, it's all right. No, all I'm trying to do is help Samuel Kujeto to expose wrongdoing, which I believe is in the public interest. Now, if what's his name?
Kojo
Chumbuafo says mischief, it's okay. Let's go.
Sorry?
Yeah. So it's good the break is over.
So Nana Kitia says is giving Nana Komia a new name, Sergio Ramos.
Oh yeah, you have to give it to him.
I'm sure he did. Yeah. I mean, he didn't even know that Nana Komia used to be a central defender. In his playing days.
Are we playing football?
Yeah. and his footballing career is stuff of legend from GSTS. Yeah.
No,
from what I hear.
Secondary school, I didn't get a chance, but I used to play courts.
Courts.
You didn't come to meet courts.
Yeah.
I
met it.
He's
and
not
Randy,
that young.
you people should bring that thing back.
Course is back.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's back?
We launched it. It's everywhere. There are playing centers everywhere. So in your constituency, I think is it a Kaneshi Sports Complex? So we now have like dedicated playing centers. So if you go
I don't read any reports in the sports media.
Yeah, it appears that the media
is a bit slow, but
yeah.
I mean it's big. Some of the games are even streamed live on Facebook.
Yeah. No, but I think there's something exciting happening.
You know
with the local.
Before I get there, you see, Nana, one of the things too that has affected this is that the popular joints where we used to play coast football. Many of them are gone. Many of them are gone. So some of the popular places,
the schools are still there.
Yeah, but even some, you'll be shocked to find out that the fields are gone, or the sizes are even not fit for purpose and all that.
This allow for break and
Is the Astro, because if you look at the Fadama area like that, now they use the Astro Turf, the chief imam's
which
place.
Is great.
Yes, it's a game center now. So from morning till late, some of them even have floodlights, so the games are able to even go.
It's good.
So juvenile football is back with a bang. Yeah.
It's good. Let's discover more talents in that direction.
And the coast football is for people between 10 and probably 12.
17 now. Now we have under 13, under 15, under 17.
They're all classified as coast.
Yes.
But those days people were not too strict on the age, but the height.
The height, yes.
You have to be 4'11".
So we had people who played coast for 12 years.
So how are you linking that with the secondary school?
Yeah, the school sport thing is important. It's where we've been speaking with the GS, and it's an old thing. It started under Kwesi Nyantichi.
Because Intercore was also very famous.
The school sport is dropped, and it has a lot to do with funding. As we had a strain in funding, we decided to cut off some things as not essential.
Yeah.
And so the entertainment was one. Then we came to sports. So there really is not enough funding as far as school sports is concerned, and it's something that we need to. I mean, it doesn't make sense if you're prepared to spend millions at the very top, but you're not prepared to spend at the base to develop for the top.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
But Intercore is still there, the athletics.
Yes, but
it's not as vibrant as it used to be.
The athletics?
It's not as vibrant as it used to be.
Strong.
Some of them, even the issue of tartan tracks is another matter. I mean, now with the AstroTurfs and things we're doing, it's more of football. But we need to also look at how
the other sporting disciplines. But back to Parliament.
Right.
So yes, there was a walkout, and for good reason. The NDC caucus took the view that the president's directive that last week Friday is Green Ghana Day, and so there will be no sitting. All members of Parliament should proceed to their constituencies and join efforts in planting trees. What deforestation has done to our country, and how if we don't replace the millions of hectares of forest cover we have lost, it's an existential threat, really. And so we all welcome the bold decision by the Forestry Commission, the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry, the President of the Republic, to plant 5 million trees. And everybody, members of Parliament were written to, the Speaker was written to, the Chief Justice was written to, former presidents were written to, virtually everybody, in both the public and the private space of our country were asked. So the Right Honourable Speaker decided to consider those who have to travel. There are some members of Parliament who require a whole day to travel to their constituencies to plant the trees. So there was no sitting on that day. To the surprise of our side, the first Deputy Speaker, who chairs the Appointments Committee, convenes an Appointments Committee meeting, and they say they formed a quorum and did a one-sided vetting of the deputy ministers. And there were 4 deputy ministers who were vetted that day, including the Honorable Martin J. Mensah Kosa, the MP for Techiman, one of the disputed constituencies. Our leadership drew attention and actually brought this matter even to the attention of the Speaker, that this was tantamount to disrespect and that the Speaker's directive had been flouted by no mean a person, his own deputy, the first deputy Speaker. And so we were pushing for a re-vetting, that the vetting should be done again. That's what the NDC caucus in Parliament was pushing for. But you will observe that day, Wednesday, the management committee of the Parliamentary Friendship Associations was being inaugurated. I'm a member of that management committee, but I had sought permission to attend this nurses and midwives event in Hull, so I was not at the inauguration. The Right Honourable Speaker was at the inauguration swearing in members, and that's why you notice that our leader, the Honourable Harold Drisu, was not in the chamber that day, the majority leader, the chief whips, because they are all part of the management committee of the Parliamentary Friendship Association. And that explains the Speaker's absence from the chair. So the Speaker was not in the chamber chairing. It was the second Deputy Speaker who had to chair, because the first Deputy Speaker must be on the floor to present his report. So the Honourable James Kluge Aveji led the charge, the Deputy Minority Leader, and raised the matters and said that, look, let's do things right. The Appointments Committee cannot become a charade where, it's just like a mere formality, where, it doesn't really matter what the Constitution and our standing orders expect of us, and that we should do things properly, and that we are not going to be part of it. So this whole development is a matter that we have served notice that will formally draw the attention of the Speaker, and we want the Speaker's decision on this matter, because after the approval, which was one-sided, it's the Speaker who must transmit the communication to the President for the swearing in to be done, the swearing in of these deputy ministers. We believe there's some window there for the Speaker to probably stop the process and exact some righteousness, if I put it that way, on the part of the first Deputy Speaker and the majority side. I mean, what really is the rush? It's just 4 deputy ministers. It could have been done a day after, or Mondays we don't sit. So it could have been done on Monday, and if it's about taking the report on Wednesday, we could have done that. What was really the rush? And I mean, you have the Speaker giving a clear directive. Everybody go plant trees. Take part in the national exercise. It's just like today, the Speaker has directed that no sitting, everybody should travel to their constituency and be ready for census night, because that's a major national exercise. So you have a Speaker who, though belongs to another political tradition, identifies what is a national cause, what requires, consensus building, where we must all come together as Ghanaians, first of all, and support this important national assignment. So, I mean, if you show such bad faith and you disrespect the Speaker in this manner, will you blame us if subsequent national occasions we don't attach any seriousness or we don't participate? Is that what you want? I don't think that anybody will expect that. If you want to see a responsible opposition and a nationalistic opposition, a patriotic opposition, be accommodated. When they show good faith, when they embrace your initiatives, appreciate it. Appreciate it, and bring them on board. So it's really an embarrassing spectacle, and it's a shame that the First Deputy Speaker has had to lead this gross disrespect of the Right Honourable Alban Bagbe.
Nana, why are you smiling? What's funny?
completely in admiration of Samuel Kujato's effort to expose great embarrassment on this matter. And on the other matter, which is weightier, he says that he has been counseled to take it.
I wasn't counseled on this matter.
But
not to speak to it.
I mean, it's interesting, Sami's explanation. Sami obviously is a master with communication to convince. But I find it a little difficult to believe what he's saying. So there's going to be a national exercise to plant trees. And all members of parliament needed to go to their constituencies. That assumes that the only place you can plant a tree is your constituency.
Wouldn't it make sense that as part of the leadership in the constituency, you're there to lead the
yes,
drive?
But if you are not there, the tree planting in your constituency will go on. There are chiefs, there are assemblymen, there are district chief executives, metropolitan chief executives, the whole cabal of leadership. So this business of trying to convince us that the members of parliament needed to be in their constituencies.
Let the speaker enjoin them to.
Yes,
That's the speaker's directive.
I'm saying that.
That's why the House didn't sit.
No.
If we were going to plant trees in Accra, the speaker would have said, we will sit maybe half day, and then after you go plant trees in Accra.
I'm saying that planting one tree, you could do it anywhere.
So you are questioning the speaker's directive.
No.
It wasn't a wise.
The speaker said those who want to go to their constituency.
That's what he said.
No.
Obviously.
No,
because listen,
I was in parliament.
No, the reason why I'm saying I find it difficult is that why did the speaker allow the appointments committee to sit?
They need his permission to sit.
No, they don't.
You mean the appointments committee meeting was not on the order paper?
No, it was on the day that parliament was not in session.
Yeah, but the meeting wasn't on the order paper.
The speaker did not give his blessing for this meeting to take place. He wasn't. Remember that the program for the meeting had been advertised many weeks ago.
It's okay. So it's been advertised. So the speaker knew
many weeks ago.
Yes, that the appointments committee was meeting. And since that meeting, that you say is against the directive of the speaker and is disrespect to the speaker, why hasn't the speaker taken any action about that particular meeting, which was against his directive? Why has he allowed subsequently procedures to go forward right up to the approval? Samuel Kujeto, we all know that you people had said that you were against the vetting of the MP for Techiman, Martin, and that you thought because of the court issues and so on, you were going to boycott as part of your protest. You had said so.
Yeah, but that's for him alone.
You had said so. But he was on the bill that day, wasn't he? He was one of the four.
With three others.
So you boycotted. You had told the whole country that you were going to boycott because of the Techiman MP. You had told us.
Not boycott the entire.
And then,
Nana, couldn't they have boycotted only Martin's session?
Yes.
And
We've done that before.
And sat in the others?
Yeah. They chose to boycott the whole thing.
No.
Obviously. So your boycotts, really, is in pursuant of your protest against Martin. It's a fair, we all act on principle. Stand by that principle. That is business of saying that, no, we were willing to take part, and then the speaker said we should go and plant trees, and so we were patriotic citizens, and we had gone to plant tree, and these other people are not patriotic. They went behind our back to do things that are not in the national interest against Samuel Kujato. Please. So, you had told us that you were going to boycott the proceedings in protest, and you did that. Fine. Stick to it. And let's move on.
Nana, we are told that we have to go and pay $170 million.
Yeah,
because we terminated a contract.
Yeah.
And they went on arbitration.
Yeah.
Is this something to smile about?
No, it's not.
What do we do about it?
Well, I understand that it's now been a blame game between NPP and NDC. This one is saying you are responsible. This one is saying you are responsible.
But there can only be one side responsible.
Okay, my reading of this matter is that there had been procurement of excess power. And excess power means power that we are not going to use for the next 10 years or so. But we had contracted for that power to be produced. So that power is excess. Now, because we went ahead to contract the production of that power, we have to pay for it, even though we are not using it. It's above our needs. Now, the first question that has come into my mind is that why was the need to buy power that we did not need? Why did we buy power that we will need in, say, 10 years' time? Because you have to pay for it. You can't store electricity. If you can store it, then that's fine. We store it and build up. But you can't store. So once you buy it, whether you use it or not, you must pay. So the first question I ask myself is, why did we do that? Especially when we are paying for it. We know
when we will be paying for it.
Yes, we are paying for it.
Now, when they start production, you pay for it.
Yes, but you still, some of them are producing, and we are paying.
Yes.
Yeah, so we are paying for it. We've paid, according to the report presented to Parliament, we've paid almost $1 billion.
Over 4 years.
For this, yes.
Over 4 years.
Yes. For this, for just 3 or 4 of them.
Yes.
Yes. So I'm saying that, what was the consideration that led to the decision that we would order more power than we need? Because you can scale it. If you know our peak demand is, say, 3,000 megawatts, you procure 3,000 megawatts plus a reserve margin of 20 or 30%. Procure it. But when you procure...
You don't make projections for the future?
Yes, you make projections. That's what I'm saying. So today you need 3,000 megawatts. So you procure 3,000 megawatts plus another 20-30% reserve margin. Next year you procure maybe another 100 megawatts. Then following year you procure. So the procurement of the power is scaled up to meet your anticipated demand.
In this specific case, we're told that they were supposed to start production in 2018.
Yes.
In this specific case.
Yes.
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 So perhaps using our demands for 2015 might not be accurate.
Our demand for 20... Oh, but we know our demand for 2018. Or we don't. We know our demand for 2018. We know our demand for 2019. Yeah. You know our demand for 2020. Yes. In fact, you can project the demand for the next 10 years.
So you have a problem with the decision?
The decision to procure... Even if you are going to buy dress. I mean, Samuel Kujato is wearing this nice dress. But he's not going to buy 10 of those. Styles may change. You know. So you buy what you need for this year, 1 year. Next year you sold.
So we bought what we didn't need.
We bought what we didn't need.
But is that why we are paying the judgment debt?
I'm coming to it. I said one of the first question that comes into my mind is, why did we take that decision? When we know that we'll be paying for it. And as I speak, just for 3 companies, the report that was presented to Parliament, I don't know if I have it here, but yeah, for over the last 3 or 4 years, for AXA, one of the companies, we've paid 347 million just for excess capacity. Car Power, 359 million.
So why did we extend these companies that you read, that we are paying excess power for? We have extended the duration of their contracts by 5 more years. Why did we do that?
You mean
yes.
Yes.
Car power, same power, and all that we say we are paying excess. We have extended their contracts by 5 more years. Why?
Yes, but have we extended their capacity?
Their what?
The capacity, the production capacity.
No.
We are talking about production capacity.
Yes, but I'm saying that
you don't need it.
We don't need it, yet we have extended. Yeah. One of them would have ended this year and would have owned the plant. Yeah. We have extended it by 5 years.
But so the plant will still be in production?
Yes.
If I get you right, we still need the power that they are producing. Mm-hmm. Don't we?
Yes. But from your argument, you're saying we don't
capacity.
From your argument, you're saying that we don't need all the power that they are producing.
Yes.
Fortunately for us, they were for a term period. Mm-hmm. So let's say 5 years. Mm-hmm. The 5 years is about lapsing. Mm-hmm. And then you would not have to pay for that excess if you think that the excess is waste. Mm-hmm. But we've gone to extend the contracts by another 5 years. We are interested in paying for excess, the nuisance excess another 5 years. Why?
But what are the terms of the extension?
We've just extended the contracts. We have not reduced tariff. We have not done anything.
But it's possible that in the extension, the excess capacity has been dealt with.
It's not.
Do we have a proof? Do you have a contract here? Let's check. Because it will be stupid, like you are saying, to extend the excess capacity.
It will be what?
It will be stupid for us to extend the excess capacity. So I am very sure.
I'll underline that.
Let's check. If the extension contract includes the excess capacity. Okay. But what we are faced with as we sit here today is that we are faced with contracts that are much, much more in excess of what we need. Mm-hmm. And we are paying for it. Mm-hmm. And I've given you some of the figures presented to Parliament. These are not small figures.
Mm-hmm. At least I'm also happy about something. Prior to this, the impression created was that we were paying 1 billion cedis every year, $1 billion every year for excess capacity. So we're supposed to have paid about $4 billion already for excess capacity.
I think,
and that's why I love Parliament.
I think they gave the figures in Parliament.
Yes, the finance minister.
Over the next, up to 2030, we're going to pay.
No, I'm just saying that up until this question, the impression we've been given was that we've been paying $1 billion every year for excess capacity.
Yeah.
Who gave that impression?
Which was exposed? All your communicators, your collaborators.
Because I have what was presented.
Yes, that is what led Suhini to ask the question.
Yeah.
Because I have what is presented by Boachi Ajakun himself and also the finance minister. And I didn't hear this 1 billion that you are talking about.
Okay, let's make progress. So you say you have an issue with the...
Yes.
Okay.
The decision to buy way in excess of what you need, especially when you are paying, you're going to pay for it.
Right.
Indeed, it was in pursuance of that, recognition of that major waste that a committee was set up in, I think, September 2016. With a mandate to review, to see how we can cut down on the agreements that we've had, cut down the excess capacity and the excess payments that we're going to make. And then that committee submitted its report in April 2017 and made some recommendations that some of them could be terminated.
Let's put it on record that the committee that was set up was not
in 2016
was not the same committee essentially that did the 2017 presentation. At least the chairmanship of the committee, when change of government occurred, there were changes to the committee, the chairmanship, and then I think 1 or 2 other members of the committee. So there were changes.
The changes of committee membership does not invalidate the mandate of the committee.
I've not said that it invalidates it, but I know that there's a reason why.
I got that impression.
Yes, I know that.
I've said.
I know there's a reason why the 2016 September is emphasized. There's a reason.
What reason is that?
There's a reason. The reason is that the NDC set up a committee, and that committee the NDC set up was the one that made a recommendation.
Well, I haven't said so.
Because that is the reason why people keep harping on. I allowed for this thing to go on because you see, from where I sit, Nana, I don't have a difficulty with you speaking about the contract and whether it was right or wrong and all that. But from where I sit today, a contract was terminated. Reasons for the termination were given. The aggrieved party went on arbitration. Those who terminated the contract advanced those same reasons at arbitration.
Yeah.
The arbitration panel unanimously disagreed with all the reasons that was given. None of the reasons had to do with the impropriety of the contract or the fact that the contract was not done, executed in good faith or anything. It had to do with the belief of those who terminated the contract that the seller, in this case the company that went on arbitration, had not fulfilled terms of the contract. That was the basis. That the seller, a party to the contract, had not fulfilled conditions in that contract. And that was the basis for the termination. And that was the defense that was canvassed by those who terminated at arbitration, and it fell flat. So it has nothing to do with the propriety of the contract or whether the contract made sense or didn't make sense, because that was not the basis for the termination, and that was not the defense put up at arbitration. So the reasons given for the termination, because let's assume that yes, we needed to terminate it, but you needed to terminate it the right way. You needed to terminate it on the basis of law that can stand the test of time, or reasons that can be defended.
Okay, so
the fact that something is wrong does not mean that you can go and deal with it any way you want.
Well, I'm sure when I'm finished my submission, you understand where I am coming from.
Okay.
So these contracts had been signed. They had committed us to paying for power that we didn't need. And they were costly. And we've been given the figures that we've been paying, and we're going to pay more, because as more of the companies come on stream with the excessive production, we're going to pay.
Right.
Now, a committee was set up in September 2016. I am not bothered about when it was set up and when it publishes reports. The mandate is the same. The mandate was to review, that's the terms of reference, was to review the agreements because of the excess power and see what changes can be secured. Because of the excess power and the payments we're going to make. That was the mandate. And so that committee continued up to this, presented their report in April 2017. You said there were changes in the membership, which really is nothing, because you can always change a committee's. Samis resigned from a committee. Now the recommendation was that some things be done, including terminations and so on. And the committee had done cost-benefit analysis. The government in 2017, in the person of the Minister for Energy, went to Parliament and presented the findings of the committee to Parliament and said, these are the recommendations of the committee. We believe that if we terminate some of them, we will save money for the country. So there's a cost-benefit analysis of the cost of the termination and the cost of maintaining the contract. The minister was very categorical and clear in, I don't know, yeah. And he said that the minister told Parliament that...
When was this?
Oh, 2017,
date.
And the date... Where's the date? I don't have the top.
Okay, that's fine.
I have an extra. The minister told Parliament that the government stands to make significant savings from the deferment and or termination of the reviewed PPAs. The estimated cost for the termination is blah blah 402 million, compared to the average annual capacity cost of 586 million, and the cumulative cost over 10 years of 7 billion that we're going to pay. So the government had made a clear decision that it was in the interest of the nation to terminate some of these contracts. It will come with cost, including judgment debts. But in the estimation of the committee, and which was adopted by government, the cost will be lower than if the contracts were allowed to run and were to pay for the excess cost. So this was a clear decision made by government, communicated to Parliament. So it will seem to me that the terminations have been done with the clear knowledge that they will come with some cost.
So let's take them one by one. At least what you're reading is some lumped up thing.
Yes.
Yeah, some lumped up thing.
Yes.
Because you see,
I think there are 11 companies,
yes, because you see,
that were going to be terminated.
You see, Nana?
Including this one.
Yes, Nana. You see, despite this committee's work, the committee that we are referring to, despite their work, government decided that it will set up a different team to look at Ameri. This committee, the 11 you're speaking about, it includes all those committees.
Does it include Ameri?
All the PPAs,
not
PPAs.
all of them.
Okay.
No, it didn't say all of them. It
read
said,
all the companies, yes.
No, it didn't say. Well, if you went to the committee's report, the companies that had been shortlisted and said that they may be terminated, it didn't include Ameri.
Okay. So you set up a committee on Ameri. This report was given to the auditor, Attorney General. The Attorney General gave an advice to Cabinet. On the basis of that advice, the Minister of Energy wrote to the company terminating. Now, what is an issue now is this particular company.
Yeah.
Now, per what you read, what was told Parliament, that look, we'll be better off terminating than allowing the contracts to run.
Yeah.
If this contract had run over the 4-year period, how much was it going to cost us?
But that's what I was coming to. That for now, government has told us clearly that it will be cheaper and save the country money if we terminated these contracts. And the government has actually, using the work of the committee, given an estimate of the money that we will lose if we terminated these contracts, as against the money that we have to pay if we maintain this contract.
We have a case in point now.
My first point is that it's a deliberate decision by government.
Yes.
That it will be cheaper for us to terminate some of these contracts than maintain them. Because if you maintain them, then you commit to paying for the excess power that will be producing, which you don't need. So if you terminate them, it will come with cost.
Okay.
And they had estimated the cost at 400 and something. So this one has been terminated as part of the government's policy to terminate some of these contracts.
Right.
And it has come with a cost. Now it's 170 million. So the government now has to show that its projection and its assurance to the country that it will be cheaper this way, that is justified.
But the contract that was sent to Parliament, what was approved by Parliament, over the 4-year period, if they had produced power over the 4-year period, it was going to cost us less than 100 million. Less than 100 million. It was about 24 million or so every year for 4 years. So it was going to cost us less than 100 million if they had indeed produced the power.
Yeah.
So if you say that terminating will cost us less, and the termination is costing us 170 million.
But that's what I'm saying, that I agree with what you are saying.
Yes.
That you need to show that in this particular contract, we expected to lose so much and gain so much, and do show the nation a cost-benefit analysis. That has not been done. And government needs to do that because you've assured the country that the terminations will lead to us saving money. That's what government has told us, and that's what the minister went to tell. I mean, this is arising from the conclusion of a committee and adopted by cabinet. And on the basis of that, the Attorney General gave advice that yes, we agree some of these things should be terminated. And the minister went to Parliament and presented the government's position clearly, without any, it didn't mince words, that it was cheaper to terminate some of them, that the government was estimating that terminating them will cost 402 million, as against maintaining them, which will cost 586 million per year. So if you look at the government's figures, clearly we're going to make huge savings. Now on this, but you, like you said, this is, they've lumped them together. But you've raised an issue that, so let's take them termination by termination. That's your issue, isn't it? Yes. And so it is now incumbent on government to do a cost-benefit analysis of this particular termination. To see if the cost-benefit analysis...
But at the end of the day, Nana, without even government saying that, we have the terms of the contract. It was sent to Parliament. Parliament approved it. So we know how much it will cost us. Every
and you
year.
have said it's 20 what?
About 24 million per year for 4 years.
So that would be 24 times 4.
4, yes.
So that's about 100.
24 point something, yes.
So that's about 100 million.
Yeah, a little less than 100 million.
And then we are paying 170.
Yes.
So that means we lost out in this particular one. That's what you're saying.
Yes, if we're dealing with cost-benefit analysis.
We lost out in this particular
if we had allowed the PPA to run and produce the electricity for 4 years,
Randy,
this was how much it was going to cost us.
I'm saying that from what you are telling me, and I've no doubt about what you are saying. What you are saying is that in this particular termination, it doesn't look like we've saved money. That's what you are saying. Yes, that if we had allowed it to run, we would have paid about 100 million. By terminating, we are paying more than 100 million. So it doesn't look like this one we've saved money. So in your view, if government had allowed this one to run, we would not have lost money. That's what you're saying. I'm saying that it's incumbent on the government to make a comment on this particular termination. It could be that if you averaged it out over all the terminations, some you lose, some you gain. But if you did a cumulative effect, the net effect is that you benefit. It could be so. But it's also incumbent on government to deal with it case by case. I mean, if government came out to agree with what you are saying, that yes, indeed, if we had allowed this one to run, we would have paid 100 and something million. By terminating, we are paying 170. So in this particular one, we've lost. But when we do the cumulative termination over the 11 companies, it will be a net gain. It's incumbent on government to do that.
So on the issue of the excess capacity and what we're paying, Felix Kwachufosu sent me something. I mean, when you were asking about who said it.
Who said what?
That we're paying those amounts, the 1 billion and all that. So somebody this one says, Mr. Furiata stated in the presentation in media, he's actually sent me the document. Mid-year fiscal policy review of the 2019 budget statement and economic policy and supplementary estimates in Parliament. He said notable among the transactions was that 2,300 megawatts of the installed capacity had been contracted on a take-or-pay basis, adding that on the average, less than 40% of a contracted take-or-pay capacity is actually used, meaning that we're basically throwing away money by paying for the remaining 60% of excess capacity, which we do not actually consume. He said in monetary terms, what it means is that the citizenry was paying more than $500 million or more than 2.5 billion annually for power generation capacity, which was not used by the citizenry. So according to the finance minister, at the 2019 mid-year fiscal policy review of the 2019 budget, he said that we were paying $500 million every year. Yes, every year for power we do not consume. Yes.
That's not 1 billion.
Yes, but
so what is Felix saying?
No, I guess the point he's making is that per the figures presented to Parliament by the finance minister, on the average is about $230 million, not $500 million.
On the average?
Yes.
No, but
900 and something divided by 4 is about 230. Yes.
900 but these are for 3 companies.
Yeah, this is what we have. This is what we have paid. He wasn't asked about number of companies.
No.
The question was about how much we have paid.
Well, let me see what the Minister for Energy said. He said that the government stands to make significant savings from the deferment and termination of the reviewed PPAs. The estimated cost for the terminations is 402 million compared to an average annual capacity cost of 586 million each year. This is what the minister said. You are saying what?
The question the minister was asked was how much we have paid. Because, for example, this statement...
How much we have paid?
Yes.
And that is what he gave the 3 companies.
Yes.
Which was about $1 billion.
Yes.
For the AXA company, for car power and sand power. It came to 937.
What it means is that these are the three companies that we have paid
so far
to for
about
excess capacity
about
for
$1 billion.
years. Yes, over the 4-year period. So the issue of we are paying more than $500 million or more than 2.5 billion cedis for power generation capacity, which was not used by the citizenry, is not borne by the facts that he presented to Parliament.
No, but what I have here, and which I have, let me read. So the estimated costs.
Yeah, but the estimated cost is different from what we are paying. What we are paying is that what we are actually paying.
Yeah, but what I have here said by the minister is estimated cost.
Yes.
Estimated payments.
Yes.
Which is saying that compared to an average annual capacity cost of 586 million each year, and you are saying you have a problem with this.
So the 586 million is what has been presented as what we actually pay every year. But when the question was asked in Parliament for the minister to tell us how much we have paid for excess capacity in the last 4 years, this is the figure he gave us.
The finance minister.
Yes, 900 and something million.
Yes.
Which on the average is about 230 million. That's the point I'm making.
Also, you are disputing this 500.
I am not disputing. I'm saying that the fact that he gave to Parliament.
You mean there are two figures?
Yes, it contradicts what he had put out earlier.
But we are making major payments for excess capacity.
What?
We are making major payments for excess capacity.
Yeah, we are paying for excess,
yes.
And we will always pay for excess capacity.
And government is saying,
yes.
I mean, government has said to the nation that if we net it out, we would gain.
On the basis of what has happened with this particular case, why should we believe?
But that's what I have said to
because
you.
Just one company.
Yes, but that's what I've said.
You know, for this company, let me an example. This company, government offered 18 million. What it presupposes is that for all those contracts that they intend terminating, they have put estimates. So, for example, until this matter went to court,
and the estimates could be wrong.
Yes,
that's what you are saying.
until this matter went to court, this 18 million would have been part of this figure given. Because in the view of government, we are going to terminate this and it will cost us 18 million.
Well, like I agree with you that government needs to come clear. Because what government has given us now is the bulk, the global picture of terminating 11. That is if they agree to terminate all the 11 recommended by the committee. And they've told us the savings they would make over 10 is up to 2030 as against if they don't. But it's going to be on a case-by-case basis. So after giving the general figure, in one particular instance, which is the current one, we have noticed that we've lost, if the figures that you are giving me are into consideration, we've lost about 40 million, isn't it? Because we'll be paying, if we had allowed this C something to stand, we're going to pay about 100, a little over 100 million.
A little under.
And then we've now going to pay, what,
170.
170. So we've lost in this one, if we go by your figures. Government needs to come clear and tell the people of Ghana what the net figure is or the net position is in this particular one. It could be that if you went through the whole thing, we would make savings. In some individual cases, you make losses. In some individual cases, you make gains. If you netted it out, we make gains. But it's up to government now to come and explain, to tell us what it is on this particular one. If we've made losses on this particular one, they need to tell us. And if we're going to make gains on some of them, they need to tell us. You are saying that, well, because of what has happened here, you even doubt if we'll make gains.
No,
that is
what I'm just saying
that's for the future.
That for this one, they estimated 18 million. So I'm sure that for all the others that they intend terminating, they have their estimates of how much they think is a fair amount to pay.
And going by the figures, these estimates were completely out. So you are not even sure how correct the other estimates are. But government needs to come and clear the air on that. I mean, I don't have any problem, and government should not have any problem in coming to clear the air in terms of the net position.
All right,
because we've been told that the policy is to take this course of action because it will save us money.
All right, Sammy, just hold on. We need to take a break and see if we can get a few megawatts of installed capacity.
No, you don't need megawatts.
The search for a reliable partner in dealing with your U-turn bus needs has been made easier and convenient with SA Automobile. SA Automobile, formerly U-turn Ghana Limited, has been in the business of offering quality U-turn product and services at competitive rates. At SA Automobile, our team of expert staff, management, engineers, and mechanics professionally deal in the sale of U-turn buses, genuine spare parts, its repairs and maintenance at a highly effective workshop with remarkable speed. We also have available the sale of Camel car batteries, Weichai and Kia spare parts, Zonton coaches and light-duty vehicles for everyday movement. Contact us on 020-000-0831 or 054-555-7500. You can also email us info@saautomobilegh.com or visit our website at www.saautomobilegh.com. SA Automobile, the pleasure of doing business with you is all ours.
Ghana is a beautiful country. There is so much of it you probably haven't seen, haven't experienced, haven't touched, haven't felt, haven't eaten. When this is all over, let's discover our land again with new eyes. Let's feel each other again. We are one people, brought together by destiny. Let's make that count. Let's show love for each other and our environment. Let's tell our stories, and let's watch and listen to our stories. There will be so much to tell. Ghana is a truly beautiful country. Be Ghana, stay in Ghana, experience Ghana, make Ghana great. And we will invite the world to come and experience Ghana too. But for now, stay home. Brought to you by the National Film Authority. Supports the Stay Home and Discover Ghana Later campaign. This channel supports the campaign.
God bless our homeland, Ghana.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana Live on Metro TV. Shows brought to you in kind partnership with X Natural Mineral Water. Still with me on the show, I have Nana Kumia and Samuel Kujato Ablakwa. Yes, Samuel.
Randy, you had said you were going to look for some megawatts. Megawatts will blow up your stuff.
Yeah, you advised me. So I took your I took your good counsel.
Thank you. He didn't take it.
You know I'm very obedient to you. So.
Obedient is putting it around.
I see that Nana will do anything to take away vital minutes from this topic and distract everybody from
you know, in Ghana, your guy is not that good, right?
Chief.
Yeah, but
otherwise in Ghana they say something.
It's possible.
There's a coach,
Randy.
It means that Nana's skills, Nana's skills will not depart him even in old age.
You had made a comment.
No, it's okay, it's okay.
And before Samina, I just made a side comment. How does that?
Let's focus. Too many side.
You see, that's why I'm surprised that on the parliamentary thing, he said that one there.
Too many side comments. Let's focus.
Okay, go on.
Look, Randy.
Yes.
We may be smiling here and all of that, but these are very grave matters. Very, very grave matters. A judgment debt of $170 million. Imagine what that money can do. $170 million. The water it can provide, the schools it can build, the no-bed syndrome it can end. if you invest $170 million, even in our security agencies, the number of young people we can employ. And you see, we are where we are because of crass ineptitude, because of gross dereliction of duty, because of incompetence, because of sloppiness. These are serious matters. I hold in my hands here the termination letter dated 13 February 2018. The reasons the then Energy Minister, the Honorable Boakye Ejako, ascribes in this letter to terminate the EPA with GPGC. None of what the Honorable Nana Komia has spoken to this morning is contained in this letter. Not one. Not one. The reasons the Honorable Ejako gives is that we also know that today GPGC has not reached financial close nor achieved full commercial operation date, primarily because some of the preconditions or conditions subsequent for the achievement of financial close and full commercial operation date have not been fulfilled. Under the agreement, conditions subsequent are to be fulfilled 30 days after the effective date. The ministry has been informed by the Energy Commission that GPGC has still not obtained a license from the Commission to engage in the business or commercial activity for the sale of electricity. GPGC therefore has no capacity to execute the EPA. Accordingly, the EPA is null and void for want of capacity. Similarly, although it is a requirement to obtain siting and construction permits from the Commission prior to construction and installation of a plant for the production and supply of energy, GPGC has commenced construction on site without the requisite siting and construction permit. Accordingly, GPGC's construction activities are illegal. These are the reasons provided. And in arbitration at the United Nations Commission on International Trade Law Tribunal, they threw all of these reasons out of the window. Said there was no basis. Even on the matter of permit, they saw evidence that the Pong Katamanso District Assembly had provided permits, and that the other construction permits they were talking about, our government could not show the tribunal which act, which law in this country requires that they provide those construction permits, and that the permit they required, they had it from Pong Katamanso. Even the analysis that the Ahinkra committee did and said that when you terminate, our liability will only be $80 million, was thrown out of the window. They could not even defend it. After the decision in January.
But the Ahinkra committee's report that they seek to rely on, I think that is hogwash, and I have my reason. Because you see, beyond that, the government was not bound by the committee's recommendations.
Yes.
And that is why the Attorney General advised government.
Yes.
And so if the Attorney General disagreed with anything in the committee's report, would have advised government same. In fact,
fantastic point.
That committee suggested a negotiation with the company.
Yeah.
When they put their cost at 18 million, they recommended a negotiation with the company. Why didn't we negotiate?
They didn't recommend termination?
No, they recommended a negotiation to terminate.
Negotiation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why didn't we negotiate?
Look, that is why I say that this whole matter, it boils down to incompetence, recklessness, negligence. Look, this business of too many power agreements and all of that, Nana Komia has spent 90% of his time talking about excess power. I have here...
You mean there's no excess power?
I have here a publication by graphic.com.gh as recent as April 21st, 2021. We need to generate more energy, NAPO edges. The Minister of Energy, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, has called for the need to generate more, not less. To generate more, not less, power, as the country's power needs grow in consonance with its growing population and urbanization. The minister made this observation when he opened a 4-day energy sector work program retreat for 2021 at Adan in the Greater Accra region. Dr. Prempeh, who is also the Member of Parliament for Menchia South and is popularly known as Napo, indicated that his core vision for the sector reflected the party's 2020 election manifesto on energy, together with the president's vision of safe, reliable energy for Ghana in a bid to meet its energy needs for domestic consumption and industrialization. On the power purchase agreements currently being renegotiated with independent producers, Dr. Prempeh observed that the challenge had been that these were negotiated in an emergency at a time that the nation had fallen on hard times, and therefore it meant that we were in a weaker position to negotiate those agreements in our favor. Going forward, the minister called for more take-and-pay positions and insisted that there would not be government guarantees with respect to future negotiations. We need to negotiate now, not when we are in hard times, Dr. Prempeh insisted. So, what is this business about? We all know all our Energy Commission documents have always recommended that you need to have reserve margins. We know that. No country in this, or no serious country.
I think the recommendation is for us to add 15%
yes,
every year.
Yes,
20%.
20%
every
actually.
year.
Yeah. It's 20%. I mean, reserve margins.
But what we've added is way beyond 20%.
So please, if government had basis for its termination, why this sloppiness? First, you were not able to make any convincing case.
But I mean, in the first place, you say you are renegotiating some of these things.
Yeah.
If the committee's report that you quote copiously recommended that, yes, you terminate, but negotiate with the company
first
from a point of 18 million.
Yes.
What is it that made you decide that you will not negotiate?
Yes.
It's possible negotiations broke down.
The arbitration would have alluded to it.
The negotiation.
The arbitration would have alluded to it. And in fact, the minister's letter terminating would have alluded to it.
Okay, so you mean there was no negotiation at all?
Nana, all I'm saying is that at least...
You don't have the proof of it?
At least,
That's
yes.
what you're saying.
The minister's letter terminating would have alluded to it.
Yes.
And may not have alluded to it.
You think that, Nana, you've been a minister before.
Absolutely.
That negotiations leading to a mutual termination have broken down and one side decides to unilaterally terminate. It will not allude to that in a letter. And at arbitration, when you are being accused, when you are being accused of unilaterally terminating on baseless grounds, you will not allude to that.
Okay.
So look, this business.
So there was negligence. That's what you are saying.
Maybe criminal negligence.
This matter. I foresee that when the tables turn, some people are going to have very serious questions to answer. And look, Randy, this government has increasingly developed a penchant for such reckless conduct in the energy sector. This same recklessness and ineptitude, negligence, made us lose $190 million from the Americans, the Millennium Challenge Corporation account.
Oh, you mean the PDS?
The PDS deal. Do you know that as we speak, there is another judgment dead looming, $55 million from the Accra Intelligent Traffic Management System, a tussle between the Roads Ministry and the National Security Ministry. A Chinese company called the Beijing Everyway has started a project. National Security.
Has it been terminated?
National Security, yes, they terminated it. Yes, and they've also begun arbitration.
I think for over a year or a couple of years, Franklin Kujo is always writing about that thing.
Yes. National Security wanted Huawei to execute the project. Roads Ministry wanted Everyway, a highway, to execute it. And National Security.
That's the name of the company.
Beijing Everyway.
Everyway.
Yeah, Beijing Everyway. So Beijing Everyway is in arbitration with us, demanding $55 million. Totally avoidable.
Because we had a contract with them?
Yes, we had a contract with them. Okay. They had started executing. The National Security preferred Huawei to do it. And National Security said that they are in a better place. This intelligent traffic management system is not a rose matter. It has an intelligence angle. It's for national security. So they should execute. And they couldn't. Cabinet ministers
And has the contract been terminated?
They could, yes, terminated. And Beijing everywhere is at arbitration.
Because when the national security one was sent to Parliament, that's when I started reading Franklin Kujo on it. So that's when I got to know that there had been a prowl.
But has it been terminated?
It was Kandapa elbowing Amwakwata, you know, using his. So he has
now both of them have been elbowed out of cabinet.
Yeah, he has the Azugu forces behind him, so he won in the tussle, you know, and Azugu Amwakwata out of the way. For Beijing every way to now. I mean to now go to.
When I refer him to the one that he will say, I'm worried.
Sometimes
I know you like to make light of this.
When you are stressed out, you guys play Ludo or something.
you know, these are hundreds of millions of dollars, and it's avoidable. It's avoidable. This is our conduct.
Why do people take decisions as if they are running their?
Yeah, if Ghana was your private company, will you run it this way? Will you take these decisions? And that's it. What this comes to.
Oh, okay. So just a minute, Nana. So for your information, John Jinapo says that the Attorney General confirmed yesterday that there was no negotiation with GPGC. Okay. He said he asked him that question. So
did he explain why?
No. Okay, he's not said that. But
I mean, the Attorney General
all I'm saying is that's why I keep referring to people quoting that report copiously. Yet you approbate and reprobate from the same report. Where it suits you, you refer to the report.
Yeah.
But you will not follow what the report says.
The report didn't recommend termination.
No, it says they should negotiate.
If you are going to terminate.
If you want to terminate, negotiate with them and start from the 18 million, which is supposed to be.
Yes. But Randy,
yes,
if you are going to terminate any contract with somebody, you need to try negotiation first. So I'm surprised that
it didn't happen.
You go.
It didn't happen. So it's just clear that, you know,
there's recklessness.
Your collaborators in government, it's just reckless. The whole business of power is just they think that they can just show people where power lies. But there are implications.
There's a cost to
There's a cost to that. There's a cost to that recklessness. There's a cost.
You know, Sammy,
and you see, we must even discuss the appeal process. After we have lost this at the tribunal in January, look at the reasons that Godfrey Dami was giving. Look at what there's a Solicitor General. There are all these lawyers, state attorneys. And then you tell the court that, in the court's own words, the London court, that the excuses were unreasonable and intrinsically weak. This business of COVID, some lawyers have got COVID, and there are elections taking place in Ghana. I mean, when there is $170 million.
Yeah.
I mean, so look, the sloppiness. I mean, people sleeping on the job. If it tells you that government Israel had no confidence in the case. They had no confidence. They just knew that they had acted recklessly. They just wanted to show GPGC where power lies.
If you've gone to arbitration, and at arbitration, you have had to come and defend your decision.
Yeah.
And people are being cross-examined. Yeah. If you read the report you have, read the comment on Dr. Hinkra.
Yes. Yeah.
Read that.
No, very damning. Very damning.
Read that.
Yeah, very damning. And at some point, he even redacted.
The person who you say chaired the committee's report that you say you relied on.
Yes, yeah. He said he could
not, has he done?
And he said he could not even remember.
He couldn't recollect whether they recommended the termination. And that he distanced himself from the Attorney General's advice. Yeah. It's in the arbitration report.
Yeah.
Yes, but did he say he couldn't recollect his recommendations?
Yes, that they recommended for a termination.
But Randy, if the committee didn't recommend, he should just say so. What is this? I don't recollect.
So, Nana, does it not, don't you find it remarkable that a man who chaired a committee's report that you say you rely on, who knew, because this arbitration is not as if he was sleeping in his house and they came to arrest him, but who knew that there was arbitration? He knew that I'm sure it was
appeared
virtual.
before the committee.
Yes, he knew.
And he doesn't remember.
And he knew that it was about his committee's report.
Yeah.
And he says that, one, he doesn't remember recommending that, and two, he distances himself from the AG's advice.
Yes, that one he's entitled to. But I'm saying that if he didn't recommend termination, he should just say so. And, stop this fudging. Say so that I know that was in the recommendation. This business I don't remember. But you see, Randy, we're having a national discussion. in these discussions, we must look at the national issue, the national interest. So, if it can be shown clearly that the national interest has not been served in this particular matter, well, let's talk about it and see what remedial measures will be given. I don't have a problem. Because, you see, for far too long in this country, public officials like Sami and myself have gotten away with actions that have cost the country so much money.
True. Just too much money.
Sami is saying this is an instance. I have said government should come out and show the nation clearly the net benefit of this. So we can see that the interest of the public has been served. But when Sami goes on negligence, incompetence, sloppiness, people are sleeping. So I said that it's a national issue. There have been too many cases of judgment debts that nothing has been done against public officials. Wyoming is a classic example where public officials authorize payments that should not have been. And we spend years trying to get the money back. But the public officials are still going about. Bank switch is another instance where in 2009 or 2010, where public officials cancelled contracts and cost us millions and millions of dollars. Up to today, people are walking about free. ACES is another one.
Which one is ACES?
ACES is a Norwegian company that was given mining rights in 2007, 2008. And I think it's this same Kwabena Donko who cancelled it. We had to pay in excess of $30 million for that cancellation. And then you have this one and all of them. People do these things. They get away with it. So people come after them and they don't take the due diligence. Maybe it is time we have a national conversation. I want my government to show clearly the pros and cons, the net benefits of this. And if we didn't benefit net by this, government should show us, because the government has told us clearly that the terminations at the end of the day will benefit more than we lose. And government must start with this.
But beyond the money, Nana, see, if government must terminate on the basis of reasonable grounds.
I'm sure.
So if you go and provide reasons, and those reasons are described in those words.
But you see, for me,
as unreasonable excuses.
Government has already stated its policy, that my policy is to stand down, terminate this contract, because I believe I'll save the country a bit of
but the execution of that. So there's one thing having a policy.
Sit with them.
But how you go about the policy? The execution of saying.
This is what I'm saying.
And even the inconsistency. You say that you want to negotiate, you think that there's too much excess power and all. And yet you are extending the contract.
Oh, that one, it has to be. No, there must be a reason. No, because you agree that there's excess power.
Nana.
Unless you don't agree.
Nana. Mary has been extended. How it doesn't.
But I'm saying
Nana, two things.
Yeah.
One, John Jinapo sent me in a text, and he says that the ECG is supposed to have a 20% excess capacity. And so the 230 million per annum is consistent with the 20%. That's the first point he makes. Now, the second point is that in one instance, we are extending contract periods. In another instance, we are renegotiating at the table. In another instance, we are in a flippant manner terminating contracts.
And in another instance, there is another take or pay that we have started, the thermal energy project.
Yes. So is John Jinapo saying that there's no excess capacity?
He says that based on what the finance minister presented, the 900 and something that we paid is consistent with what the ECG must have as.
Because the understanding that I have is that we have excess capacity almost double our needs.
The point he's making is that...
Is he denying that?
Yes, the point he's making is that he said when the ECG met them at the committee level, they confirmed that they needed to have 20% excess capacity. and that the figures, the 230 million, is consistent with that 20%.
So he's saying that there's no excess capacity.
Yes.
It's capacity and reserve margin.
In
That's
terms
what he's
of
saying.
in terms of what we have paid.
Yes. So, but as we speak, and I'm sure Randy, you know, we have capacity of over 5,000 megawatts, and our peak demand is about 3,000. Is he denying that?
He hasn't.
Because when he
Look,
so that's why I'm trying to understand what he says, that there's capacity.
You are forgetting a very important matter.
What matter?
Which is that we've always had a policy to export power and make money from it to Togo, to Benin, to Ivory Coast. That must be factored in the analysis.
So that is why we have the excess capacity.
It must be factored in the analysis.
No, if that is so,
it's a revenue generation mechanism.
Yes. But at the end of the day,
other countries
let's
pay
even
for
assume
it.
that
Money from it.
Let's even assume.
Sold it.
Look,
why did you say?
Let's assume that a contract was not in the interest of the nation.
Yeah.
Must you, in going to terminate the contract?
Yeah. Go about it this way.
This is what I'm saying. This has been the record.
Yeah.
This has been the record.
We just
But when you use the previous record, for example, Woyome, even a song was composed. Everybody sang that song, including Nana Akufo-Addo.
No, I led the song.
Yeah.
I sang it in studio.
Yeah. So when you're done with that, you're given the opportunity.
Yeah. It's because people were not punished.
But when you're given the opportunity,
but you know that when you are given the opportunity,
and I'm not done with the list. Apart from this,
you let me answer.
There's another big one, which I'm waiting for the right time to release that. I mean,
based on good counsel, you're checking your time.
Yeah, I'm checking the time. Time is important.
We need to go. Thanks, gentlemen, for joining me.
Shocking.
And thanks for watching. God willing, we'll be with you next week. Have a wonderful weekend.
Metro TV. Insightful and inspiring moments.
My mother, my tears. Did you carry me for plenty months to see me and like this? Mama,
You rejected me even before I was born. Forgive me, my son. I was young, stupid, and naive. Please forgive me. Forgive you. Will that bring back my son Chikwado? Will it bring back my wife? Will it restore my hand?
Osemina, please. That search for you everywhere. That looked for you, not know you are right under his nose. Please.
Angela, you will not understand.